Hi, welcome back to Chase's Everything Shooting. Hey, today I'm going to be talking about how I store my gunpowder and primers. And you know what? This was a real concern to me. My last workshop area where I did all my reloading, I just kind of had my gunpowder in this cupboard, and it really wasn't airtight, or it wasn't moisture proof. The temperature would fluctuate. There was a lot of things that weren't good about it. Now it was a wooden shelf, so you know I felt pretty confident that there wasn't going to be any type of be able to get a spark generated. But I did a lot of research, and I made some phone calls. I talked to some guys that are super reloaders. I mean, I'm a neophyte reloader compared to these guys. These guys are, they reload 20 different calibers, and they mix the powders and do this. It's just amazing. But anyway, to make a long story short, everybody had their own idea. Some people put it in a metal container. Some people put it in a plastic container. I'm not so sure I like the plastic container side of it, but that's what they did. Some people, they just said, don't put it anywhere. Just leave it out and it'll be okay. Well, we all kind of know, and we're really kind of starting to talk more and more about this, is humidity definitely degrades the powder. And I live in Texas. It's hotter than heck here. And you know what? There's a lot of humidity sometimes. So I was trying to figure out a way to make this all work. And so more and more research, more and more talking to people, I kind of thought, well, I'm going to build it out of wood. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, I had this cooler here, the Igloo cooler, that I take to Lake Powell when we go houseboating and skiing and all that kind of stuff. And I'd used it for at least 10 years there, and it was pretty beat up. And so I kind of thought, I'm going to get rid of that. And then, boom, I thought, hey, I'll make that for my powder storage and primer storage. So I started researching and trying to figure out, hey, how can I make sure, because it is plastic inside, that I can't have any spark or static electricity. And so I came across bed liner material. And you go, bed liner material? Well, I did a lot of research on it, and it's non-static. And so what I did is I painted the inside of this black with the bed liner material. So I knew that getting in and out of it, that I wouldn't have any issues with any type of static electricity. Now the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make it tighter and a little more airtight. Now it's not perfectly airtight, but by any means. But you know what? It works. And so what I did is I put a little rubber seal down here, and this material is the same material you find at Home Depot and Lowe's that you put around your doors to weather tight seal them. There's rubber on one side and real sticky stuff on the other side. And I took it and I just ran it all the way around and made a seal. So what I did from that point on was I said, well, is it really sealed? And so what I did is I dropped some desiccant in here. I left it closed and tried to see if the desiccant picked up any moisture from the atmosphere. And after quite a few days, I came back in and the desiccant was perfectly blue. So I knew that it had not picked up any moisture. It would have turned pink if it did. And so I go, okay, this is all gonna work. So then my next hurdle was everybody talked about the safety, okay, of having a real latch on here. And I had two latches here, one on this side and one over here, and they worked okay, but everybody said, hey, you wanna have something that will release if some type of combustion happens. So what am I gonna do? So what I did is I pulled these off on both sides, and then I just got a rubber bungee, what they use to hold tarps down, and put a little eye hook here, an eye hook up here. So if anything were to happen, I mean, you can see this thing and burp, and it'll probably just blow right off. So that took that away from my worries and making sure that it all went. So I progressed through here. I made sure I sealed the drain plug down there. What I did is put the cap on it and I filled it full of silicone where no moisture could come in through there. So it all tend to work, and I've used it for about a year now, and I have to say I have a desiccant, big desiccant thing in there right now, and I don't get any moisture in there from the humidity. Now let me tell you, right now I'm sitting in probably, I'm gonna say 60% humidity right now. So there's a lot of humidity in the air today, and this thing is keeping it out. So I wanted to give you an idea how to do this, how to do it economically, and how to do it safely. And you know what? I appreciate you guys watching the videos. And if you can do me one favor, is down here, subscribe, and then hit like. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, but it sure helps me as I'm generating more views, and Google looks at that and says, hey, this guy's trying to make something work. So, hey, I really appreciate you stopping by. I'm gonna take some pictures of this. I'm gonna put it up and let you see what the inside looks like, how I did it. And then that way you can figure out if you wanna use this same type of method. Hey, thanks. We'll see you later on.